Hello and a very warm welcome to another edition of Talking Germany, the show where we do just that. And my guest today is one of Germany's most outstanding actresses. And here she is, in person, the wonderful Martina Gedeck.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you very much for joining us here on Talking Germany today.
I'm glad to.
I'm glad to have you here, I can tell you. I'm quite excited, yeah. Now, Martina Gedeck isn't just a household name here in Germany. She has also gained a big international reputation for her leading roles in the excellent Oscar-winning movie The Lives of Others, as well as the Oscar-nominated The Baader-Meinhof Complex. We certainly have a lot to talk about, and not just about movies. I think she's going to be a very good guest. Now, I want to begin with a comment that somebody made about you in a British newspaper, the Sunday Times, not too long ago. Mm-hmm. They said, you are Germany's Meryl Streep.
Wow.
Did you know that?
No.
Did you know that the comment had been made?
No.
Well, you say wow, yeah?
Because, I adore her.
You adore her?
Yeah, I really do love her very much as an actress.
So that's some good news that I've brought to you.
Yes, that's a very, very great compliment.
That's great stuff.
I have to say.
I think the reason why you were being compared to Meryl Streep is, apart from the fact that you are, you know, there's one critic here in Germany who said not very long ago, she said, Martina Gedeck is in a league of her own. I think that's one reason why you were being compared to Meryl Streep, yeah? Another reason is because you have this gift of being able to recreate yourself in different roles. Is that how you understand yourself?
Yes, I always liked what interested me most in the acting was the change, that you could become someone else, yeah. and to do that with within yourself, not with.
Within yourself? You're pointing to a part of your body. Which part of your body are you pointing to?
The breasts.
No. I
shouldn't say this word.
Well, I shouldn't have asked the question. I thought you were pointing to your heart or your soul.
Yes, yeah? Exactly. But no, the soul is all over.
The soul is all over?
Yeah, the soul. We are in the soul.
You believe in the soul?
No, but it's difficult to say where the soul is.
Well, it's too early. It's too early in the conversation for the soul. We'll get to the soul at the end of the conversation.
No, it's just that, I always like to change myself then, and not the outside. So, you know, to kind of say, okay, now I'm blonde, now I have dark hair or short hair. This is not very interesting. But to change within your soul, actually, that is what is so interesting.
Part of that process of. There's one thing I wanted to talk to you about first. In the English-speaking world, it has become fashionable, for good reasons, yeah, to call actresses actors. A lot of actresses say, I'm not an actress, that's too womanly for me, I want to be called an actor.
No, that's fine with me.
You're OK with actress?
Oh, yes, absolutely. OK,
so you're an actress, and one part of being an actress is that you expose yourself.
Right.
You undress.
Exactly.
It's a metaphor.
Yes.
Yeah? And then this whole week, I've been watching Martina Gedeck films, and I've been wondering, why does Martina Gedeck do this? Because she seems to me to be so clearly an intensely private person.
I want to give a platform to human beings. I find it important to show what happens within a person, and what they go through, what they experience, what they sense, and I find it important to give them a space where we can watch them.
A platform.
A platform.
What you said.
Yeah.
Mm.
And that's why I want to show them as diverse as possible. And not only have one aspect, but a lot of aspects.
When you're creating all these different people and shining a light on what's happening deep down, maybe in their souls,
right?
What are you learning about yourself? You've had a lot of roles, so what have you learned about yourself?
That each person, and also myself, is infinite. That there is so much, and you never know. And you surprise yourself. You never know who you are. You never know what you are. You have maybe an understanding, or you have an imagination about who you are, but you never know who you really are. If you come to another situation, into another situation than that you're normally in, then you might react totally different. Yeah. So I find it a little stupid to say I am this and that person. Mm-hmm. You can be a lot of different persons, and I think I don't know who I am actually. Well, maybe you know. Maybe you know better even. Maybe you find out.
Okay, maybe you'll find something out about me and I'll find something out. Maybe you'll find out what I don't know about myself and I'll find out what you don't know about yourself. Okay, yeah? The many, many faces of Martina Gedeck. We got a fair selection there. That was good. It was a good report. Now, let's go back to your very early days, before your film career, long before your film career. You grew up in a warm and supportive family?
That's true, yes.
True. You grew up in the countryside?
Right.
You grew up in Bavaria? And when you talk about growing up, you talk about spending a lot of time playing. It's interesting, the word, playing, because in German, spielen means
acting,
playing and acting. In English as well, I mean, you play a role on the stage.
Exactly, yeah.
Tell me about this playing that you were doing when you were like 7, 8 years old.
Oh, yes, I like to dress up and change and be someone else. So that was
happening back then already?
Right. That was, to us it was normal. We would just verkleiden. We would just dress up. And we had a huge box where all kinds of gowns were in, old stuff that...
Where did all these gowns come from?
From my grandmother. It was nightgowns. Yeah. We just kind of asked her if we could use them, and she said okay.
Lovely. Yeah.
And there were old underskirts and stuff like that, and I don't know, cloth, anything. And we would just kind of be a gypsy or be a princess or be Pippi Langstrumpf or Pippi Longstocking or you know, just be someone else.
Your parents were
they kind of accepted it, yes.
Accepting.
They said, okay, but when you go to school, you have to take it off, this stuff, okay? But no, they liked it, and I was very much into it. I really enjoyed that.
That sounds lovely.
Yeah.
There was a break there, though, because when you were 10, I'm not sure, 1970, 1971, you came to this city.
Exactly.
Big, bad, grubby, divided Berlin, and you lived in West Berlin.
Right.
You come from this country idyll.
Right.
Did you have a problem adapting?
Oh yes, in the beginning it was. When I see pictures from that time, I was very pale and very quiet, and I think it was quite a shock, even though I didn't admit it. I didn't admit it to myself. I had a room to myself for the first time in my life, which was beautifully done by my mother. She had put all kinds of beautiful things in it, and I was very, very proud to have a room of my own.
Indeed. I never had a room of my own when I was a child, and right from my childhood.
It was like a big present. So that's how they caught me, and I was so busy with that that I didn't realize that I was homesick. I missed my grandmother. I missed the countryside. I missed all that very much. But I adapted, and I got friends, as kids usually do. Also, the accent was a problem in the beginning.
You had a Bavarian accent?
Of course.
Oh, that helped you in your film career later, though. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so a little bit later you went off to acting school, and then you went out into the world of acting in the theatre, on the stage.
Right.
Was that your world?
Yes.
Yes?
Absolutely. When I was 7, I saw a theatre play for the first time in my life, and I was so intrigued that it really actually existed, that there is a space of fantasy and imagination that would come to life. And I think when I started with acting on stage, it was not easy, because it was a huge stage and it was difficult in the beginning to be an actress. But it was a lot of fun, and I really thought, this is it. This is it. I always was very passionate about it.
But you moved on to the movies.
Well, that happened parallel, actually.
Okay.
I got my first job in a TV movie, actually at the same time as I got my first job on a theatre. Yeah.
Tell me about. It's interesting because we saw the report. We saw you've acted in the US, you've acted in the UK, you've acted in Italy and in France, and I don't know where else. Yeah, in lots of different languages. So who better to ask what shape is German cinema in at the moment? Because when I listen to one or two of the things I've heard you saying in the last couple of years, sometimes you're very frustrated because you'd like German movies to be more like American movies, and at other times you say, yeah, but they should recognise our German movies a little more. Yeah?
Well, it depends. It depends on what time I said that. Of course, I think we should have more money for films. That's why I say they should be more like American movies. They should have more money to them. We have always problems with raising the money for a film. So the
you
films
have all these subsidies.
I know, but they don't give us enough money for the films. If you get
maybe the films aren't good enough.
Probably.
I mean, why aren't you guys making something like, you know, all these great American epic series
I know.
that, like, you know, that are like War and Peace, something like Breaking Bad or Mad Men or whatever?
Because they don't dare to do it. Because
they don't. Who are they?
The people who are in charge, who decide what to do, like the TV people, for instance. You have to take risks.
They're keeping their heads down.
Huh?
They're keeping their heads down.
Right.
They're playing safe.
Exactly.
Do you tell them this? Do you get angry with them?
Oh, yes.
Uh-huh.
And they try to do it, and they say we do it exactly the way they do it, and we want to do it, but they don't do it. They don't do it, and they cannot, and they dare not to do it. So you have either in movies you have young people who dare to do things, and they raise money for themselves, so they have nothing, so the films look poor, or you have to you always have TV in it, and TV says no, it has to be for our TV viewers, it has to be understandable and politically correct.
There's one thing I should reveal about that movie, that you made it together with Marcus Imborden, the Swiss film director, who just happens to be your partner and has been for a number of years. So you seem to be a good team. You've made quite a few films together.
True.
Right. I'm going to challenge you now, because you've just told me you want high standards in German filmmaking. Yeah, you want films to be edgy and difficult and all that kind of stuff. I have the advantage with this one that I know the book. I know the book really well. He's a writer I really admire. Yeah. And the book is really difficult and really challenging. Yeah, and really gets under the skin. Does your movie do that?
I think so. I very much love this movie. Of course, it cannot be what the novel is, because it needs a deed. And in the novel, they talk and they think. So
the novel is very philosophical.
Yes, and it's just two men talking and imagining what happens. And so Marcus wanted to have a plot which has an end. He said, for a movie we need something that drives you towards something. So that's why we invented, or he invented, a deed which has to happen, and which is kind of over. Schwebt als Gefahr. It's like a danger over it all the time. The death, and which means that you think. You think about killing, it could be a dialogue where two people hate each other, and if you think above that, it would be the killing, and so the killing takes place in this film. It's changed a bit the novel, but it had to. And of course, people criticize that and say it should be exactly like the novel. But I don't think so.
I mean, sometimes that works, but it's about every 10 years that you get a film that really is like a novel, and you know.
Normally, you have to adapt.
Let me talk about another one of your movies that you made recently, 18 months ago or so, Die Wand.
Oh, yes.
It's called in German, The Wall. I've been studying that movie the last couple of days, and it seemed to me to be the most essential Martina Gedeck movie.
It's true, yes.
And it seemed to, I had your feeling that your body and your soul was in that movie. It's about a woman who she's in the countryside, she suddenly finds herself trapped behind a wall. She's on
an invisible wall.
An invisible wall, yeah?
Yes.
It seemed to me to be a movie about a woman who's isolated, about depression, about being cut off. It seemed very feminine. Tell me more about it from your perspective.
Yes, that's true. I think it's visualized, materialized of a traumatized woman, or a traumatized human being, who has to fight her way out of it. So to me, it's also a process of healing that takes place. It's not only about depression; it's about how do I get out of it? How, when I'm reduced to the most important things that I have, which is only very few, very little. What helps me to get out of the situation? So for me, it was, of course, I couldn't talk in this movie, for instance. It was a movie without speech. I had to communicate with animals. I had to communicate with the air, with the nature, with the other, which is nothing or everything. So it was very essential, as you say, yes. And it was very, as concerned the acting, I had to be very essential with my acting, because I had to express everything with my thoughts, with my thinking, not with my doing. You should see how the person thinks, and you should feel and know what the person thinks. So that was really a big challenge.
It's interesting. There's the Mexican artist, the female artist Frida Kahlo, and I know that she's somebody who you've sort of engaged with. That was a person who suffered an awful lot in her life, yeah. And you've given readings of from the life and the letters of Frida Kahlo, I know. Right. And in that context, you talked about, and I'm quoting here, the extent to which pain and suffering influence our lives and the extent to which art can help us cope. Yeah?
Exactly.
Now, one of the things I know about your life, and I know too much about it, it's not my business, is that you have been a traumatized person in your life. Yeah? Tell me about how art helps you to cope.
I can transform. I can go into a dialogue with the unknown, with another. I mean, I don't know. It's very difficult to explain. Yeah. It's if you're in great pain. And it's not, I don't mean physical pain necessarily. If you're in great pain, it's like a room that opens, you become very deep, and you realize that reaching out to other people and being in a dialogue with the others is the most important thing. So that's what I realized. And it helps me because I realized that my art or acting is not about oneself or about being successful or making good movies. It's about reaching out to other people and reaching other people and touching other people and be in contact with other people. So that's what I then started to do through my profession, through my characters that I played, that I wanted to be in touch and touch others, and and that's what makes me feel very I don't know, I feel very satisfied. It makes me feel happy.
If my daughter, who is 18 years old and has done a little bit of acting and pretty good stuff, yeah, but nothing, really serious, if she were to ask you, is acting a good career or not, what would you say?
A good career, a good job to choose. Not really.
Not really?
Yeah, well, you would have to have a real good school where you go to, and good teachers, and really take it seriously from there. When I went to acting school, it was the state school here in Berlin, and it's 4 years of school, and from 10 o'clock in the morning till late at night every day. Yeah. So you have a very profound Ausbildung, training. Yeah. That's important, and if you have that, then it's okay.
Then it's okay.
Yeah.
But otherwise,
but just to kind of I don't know, or you are a very outstanding talent like Jennifer. What's her name? Forget.
Oh, Jennifer Lawrence.
Right.
Yeah. She's good, isn't she?
Yeah, she's fantastic.
She's very good. Yeah. Did you have a phase in your young years when you were struggling?
Oh yes.
You know what that's like?
Oh yes. I was in theatre. I had a great engagements in a great big theatre in Hamburg where I was for about 2 years. Then that ended, and then I don't know. I wasn't sure what was coming, and then it was about 2 months where I didn't know what would come, and then there came small parts in TV shows, which were kind of boring. I didn't really like them, but then I started to get into it, and I said to myself, okay, I didn't want to do movies. I didn't want to do TV and I didn't want to do movies. I wanted to be a theatre actress. And so I thought, okay, let's just try it, and maybe it's fun, and maybe I can at least learn how it works. And when I started to do it, it was a lot of fun. And so I ended up doing more movies than theatre.
It's interesting when you talk about acting. Of course, one thing you learn when you're training to be an actor or an actress is method. Yeah,
right.
It's one of the words that sort of in America they talk about the method.
Right,
Bob De Niro and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, I sense that you have a method. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been talking about what you try to do. I'm interested in it. How do you do it? Because people, I mean, when I watch you on screen, I see sort of tiny little movements at the corner of your mouth, tiny little sort of eye movements, and I ask myself, is Martina Gedeck doing all this? Has she planned it in advance, each and every little movement?
No.
Or does that happen spontaneously?
I prepare very well. I do a lot of work beforehand with my brain or with my mind, and then I forget. I kind of collect layers that I then have in myself. And when I act, the moment the camera is on, I don't think about anything. It just happens, and I let it go. And it comes really from within. I don't think about what it looks like or what effect it will have.
So it's not too technical?
No, not at all.
It's from the heart.
I have like an emotional draft which I follow, and I know where I am in that moment of the movie, and I know what I want to show or what I want to give, but I don't think about it when I do it. When I do it, I just jump in.
Okay, so that's the method. It strikes me you've got a little bit of a problem. I'm one of those people who, when I watch the movies, I like to watch obscure Argentinian movies or Indonesian movies or whatever. I'm not saying they're obscure in those countries, yeah, but I'm not familiar with the actor or the actress because I like to study a new face.
Right.
Yeah. And you are you've got the Bob De Niro problem to come back to him, yeah, a guy you work with, I know, because he's so familiar, yeah?
Oh, yes.
And so you go to the movies and you say, that's Meryl Streep being Meryl Streep, or that's Robert De Niro being Robert De Niro.
Right.
And sometimes I look at you and I think, well, that's Martina Gedeck being Martina Gedeck.
Oh, yeah.
How do you get around that problem?
Well, I don't know. I really don't.
Maybe
I try to act differently.
The answer that wasn't an answer, yeah?
No, I really, for my last movie, for instance, I tried to really be different. I mean, be more casual, be less showing things, being more down to earth, being more, like in a documentary movie. Yeah. So of course you can choose it, but you're stuck with your face, you're stuck with yes, you can't. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, this person who you are you a political person?
I don't think so. No, I don't know enough about it.
When you're reading your morning newspaper?
Oh, I do, yes.
Okay,
I do.
You read a morning newspaper, that's a start. Do you bang on the table with your fist?
Oh, yes, I get very excited,
so you're a political person?
Yes.
Yeah, what do you get angry about then?
About the economics, for instance, that we have here in Germany now at the moment, that people don't get enough payments here, that that Germany is in this position of being so strong with the export and not importing enough and all that. I think there has to be done a lot, and that there's a lot of people have to pay so much taxes, and they don't spend their money anymore because they don't earn enough. They don't. Well, I know I'm.
You're getting very political. She's getting very political.
Well,
okay,
let's stop that.
Kirsten Heise, she was an iconic figure. She was a battler. She was troubled. She was tortured. What did she mean to you as a person? I mean, you had a real encounter with her there. Indirectly.
Yeah, exactly. I admired very much her engagement with the young people, and also that she was not afraid of going out and really talking to the institutions and putting the finger on right into the problems and saying this is not going like that, and speaking up loud, also in public, in the press, which was. People didn't like that about her, but it was necessary in order to really change things. So I admired her, and of course I saw that she worked too much. I think she was in a burnout situation.
There's one thing I should mention, that her book, Das Ende der Gewalt, the running out of patience, der Geduld, running out of patience. I haven't mentioned the fact that a TV movie has been made out of it, and you play the leading role. But important fact: why were you chosen for the role? Did they choose you for the role because you are this woman who stands for sort of conscience and consciousness?
Well, maybe they thought I would. Yeah, maybe they thought I would do a good job with it. Probably.
You are, however, I mean, you're talking about the great... German society is a bit of a problem at the moment. Germany is still a relatively wealthy society, but the gap between rich and poor is growing further and further apart.
Yes.
You live on the nice side of town. You don't live anywhere near Neukölln.
I've been living in Moabit, exactly where she's working. I've been living there for quite some years.
Oh, that's interesting.
I know very much. I know very well this part where she was working. Anyway, Berlin has this problem, and not only Berlin, but Germany has this problem about immigration and how they go about it, and that these kids, which are worked with on the set, and they're very lovable people. You know, they were taking part in the movie, but they have no chance or very few chances to learn something or to become a member of society. Really.
Okay, so very important issues, a very important life.
Right.
Just tell me this again, the question, because these made-for-TV movies very often in Germany, they tend to be a little bit too sort of soft rather than hard-edged. Is this going to be the real story?
Well, we left the private parts out. We couldn't, because the children and the husband didn't want that. So we really focused on her work. So you can reproach the film that there are parts. It could be longer, but I think it's going to be a tough film, especially because there's this part, the youth and the kids who have problems. The criminal people are shown very, very
authentically.
Authentically, exactly. Yeah. Yes.
Mm. Okay, Kirsten Heisig was just under 50 when she died. We don't know whether she committed suicide or not. We probably never will know. So you were playing a woman of your own age, yeah. You have passed the 50 mark, yeah, yeah. And I'm sure you've given life an awful lot of thought. When you were interviewed about passing the 50 mark, you said the following: "Getting older is getting richer." I don't think you were talking about money.
No.
What were you talking about?
Well, you of course, life becomes richer each day, and your experience becomes more. And I experience it like that. To me, my life has become bigger and stronger and more intense over the years. It intensifies. You could say that. So would it be true to say that in your life you were very fortunate the way you grew up? Life has posed serious challenges to you, exactly.
And now you're a little bit more on a balance with yourself.
Exactly, yeah.
Got the right picture?
Very good.
Yeah? You know what I like about that movie so very much? It's the cooking.
I knew it.
All these people here in the studio, nobody can see them out there in the big wide world. They all know that I'm the kind of guy who wears an apron an awful lot. Yeah.
Yes. That's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's important.
Yeah, it was a very good movie. Yeah. They made an English language version, but I don't think it was as good as your version. Yeah.
I don't know. I never saw it.
You never saw it?
No, of course not.
Hard line there. Yeah. Okay, we're going to move on to our quiz at the end of the show. Yeah.
Right.
Traditional quiz. Quick questions, quick-ish answers.
Okay.
We heard about your early phase in Bavaria and then in Berlin. Yeah, we heard about your Bavarian accent. So where is home, Berlin or Munich?
Berlin.
Without a doubt. Are you an extrovert or an introvert?
An introvert.
Ooh, a lot of actors are, aren't they? A lot. They like to get out there, but they're introverts. Yeah. We've mentioned both of them. Robert De Niro or Meryl Streep? Who's your favourite?
Robert De Niro.
Robert De Niro.
Well, he's a man.
What's your favourite Robert De Niro film?
Oh, my God. I don't know.
Okay.
Probably boxer or...
The boxer.
No, I think no. I know, The Godfather.
The Godfather.
The Godfather.
Okay, The Godfather, Part 2. Yeah. My favourite Robert De Niro film is Mean Streets, a very early one.
Mean Streets, yeah. That's great. Yeah.
Okay, that's it. That's all we've got time for with the very lovely, very forthright Martina Gedeck. Great guest. If you've enjoyed our company as much as I have, come back next week. Until then, bye-bye. Tschüss.